Hey, we're back with part three of navigating Amazon's fees. And we're looking at the different types of fees that Amazon charges people that sell physical products on their website, specifically Amazon FBA. So if you're shipping your books to Amazon and then Amazon storing and then shipping the books to the customer, there's some long-term storage fees associated with that. And it's important to keep those into consideration as you structure and then restructure your business moving forward. So we looked at some ways to avoid the long-term storage fees. Now we're going to talk about the single ASIN exemption. Now what is that? You may be wondering. Well, there used to be a rule, it doesn't seem like it was that very long ago, that would allow every Amazon seller to have one book at the Amazon warehouse, one ASIN, one particular copy of one particular book at the Amazon Fulfillment Center, and that one copy would always avoid the long-term storage fees. So as long as you didn't have more than one. So when it came, the two intervals, February 15th and August 15th, as long as you didn't have more than one, you'd be fine. And so oftentimes what we would do is we would have that additional copy either sent back or destroyed, but we keep that one copy there. And the beauty of that is, there's a lot of long tail books out there that they might only sell a copy every other year. And if as long as you can avoid those long-term storage fees, yeah, it might be worth sending it in and taking a flyer on it. But no longer is that exemption in place. In fact, they will charge you for every single ASIN that you have that has been there for 6+ months or 12+ months at those two intervals, regardless of even if you have one or two or three or four or five in stock. So the question sometimes we get is, okay, we're being charged long-term storage fees. Are those in addition to monthly storage fees? And yes, so your books and your products that you send into the Amazon fulfillment centers are charged every single month for the space that they take up. And here's what they look like. They just changed these, so you think, oh, I'm kind of bummed out because at the beginning of February 2017, they just they changed their long-term storage fees, and it's a real bummer. And they took out the exemption rule, et cetera, et cetera. Well, they just changed their monthly fees, I think, last October, and now they're planning on changing them again in this future October 2017. And so this is what we're looking at: 54 cents per cubic foot for a standard size item. That's all your books. November through December, they up the rate, they quadruple it to $2.25 per cubic foot. And as you can see, those rates will be going up slightly effective October 1st, 2017. So let's take a look at a book, because then those fees are really, I don't know what a cubic foot looks like in all reality. So let's take the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. It's a fantastic book. Literally, I think there's either chapter 2 or chapter 3. I was listening to an Audible and my jaw just hit the floor. Just one of those epiphany, one of those moments, one of those books that it was those couple chapters that put this book from a decent book to read to one of my top 5 books on business. So check it out. But this book has 5.3 inches of length. Its width, height. It takes up It takes up 0.01 cubic feet. So what does that amount to in fees? Well, that means this book is going to cost you 1 cent per month, January through October, and 3 cents per month, November through December, which comes to 16 cents per year. And that's not too bad. I mean, 16 cents per year to store a book at Amazon's warehouse, doesn't seem like a hefty expense at all. So it's nothing to freak out about. But it is worth taking into consideration, because that, when you get 10, 20, 30,000 items in inventory, that is going to have an effect on your bottom line. So it's important to remain cognizant of it, but not to freak out about it. So let's do a quick recap. So it's 31 cents if your item has been there for 6+ months at one of those two long-term storage fee intervals. 63 cents if it's been there for 12+ months. And then you can always count on Amazon to charge you monthly storage fees of a penny to 3 cents for your standard size items every month that they're in stock. So the question you might be wondering is, how is this going to affect my buying criteria? Again, what you want to do when you're planning your buying criteria out is take all these fees and expenses that are associated with your business into consideration. And as a result of that, we have made, in our own personal business, we have made some adjustments to our buying criteria, and just general adjustments to make our business run more efficiently. I'm going to share those with you. So on the right hand side is our old criteria. We used to be $2 or less, the buy cost for the particular book. We want the estimated sale price of that book to be $10.95 or more, and we wanted to have a sales rank of 5 million or better. Now, I do want to say that these long-term storage fees and fulfillment-related fees are, which you haven't got to yet, are having an effect on us changing our criteria, but that's not the only reason why we're changing. We're always trying to be more profitable as a company. We're always trying to bring our expenses down and boost our profits up and increase our sell-through rate and generate a more healthy cash flow stream. And so that's what this criteria is reflecting. And a big thank you to Amazon for giving us one other motivating factor and to making our business run more efficiently. That is the implementation of these new long-term storage fees. But I think it's good. I think it's going to have a good effect on our business. We want to half the cost of our books, and that's the buy cost. That's off the shelf. We also, if we're paying somebody to buy these books, we pay $1 per book for the book sourcer. We're paying 35 cents per book to have that book listed. So that's another $1.35. And so if you add that on, that's $2.35 is the new cost for our books as opposed to $3.35, which was the old one. I think our average was right 367 or something like that after all of our expenses were taken into consideration. We want our estimated sale price to be 14, so we're bumping that up $3. And is that going to limit the amount of books that we source? Yes. But the books that we do source will have a higher sale price. And then our sales rank, we want it to be 2.5 million or better. There's tons of debate. Back when we first started really sourcing books seriously, probably about 5 years ago, I think there's only like 25 million books in inventory or book listings on Amazon, and now there's something like 60 some million. So it's really, the landscape has really changed over the last 4 or 5 years. And that's it. That's our new buying criteria. And for those of you who do this and want to have a little more sophisticated criteria, you can just take these new fees into account. Understand that you want, from our perspective, we want to move our inventory really fast, and because we're sourcing lower value books, in that are if that 14, 15, $16 range, we want them to sell within 6 months. And to do that, these are the criteria you have in place. Now, if you're buying books, if your average sale price for books is like 50 to 100 because you're doing like primarily textbooks, then maybe you're like, you know what, I don't really, yeah, it's a bummer that I'm gonna have to spend, you know, this extra money every 12 months to keep this inventory there, but it's worth it because the average sale price is higher. Then maybe you don't make much changes to that regard. So we looked at Amazon's long-term storage fees. We've looked at their monthly fees, and again, just as a recap, this is what we're looking at: 31 cents, 63 cents, and then another 16 cents in monthly storage fees. So if you had a book, your book costs you $1, a couple dollars, because again, every interval, every February 15th and every August 15th, if your book has been there for 12 plus months, they're going to charge you 63 cents. So what I'm going to do to analyze Amazon's fulfillment and sales fees, I'm going to head on over to the FBA Revenue Calculator, which is a free calculator that helps you estimate and determine what the seller fees are going to be on items that you sell on Amazon. So if you just go to google.com, you type in FBA Revenue Calculator. It's one of I've searched this so many times, it pops up every time. Click it here. And what you're going to do is put a name of a product or a book in. You can put the UPC, the ISBN, whatever. Let's do eMyth again. And right here, because it's kind of a standard size book. It's not super small. It's not super large, but your typical book. So this is really interesting. And what they do is whenever they change their fee structure, they give you kind of like you can view the new rates, the current and the new rates, effective March 1st, 2017. And so that is right around the corner. In fact, that's less than a week away from us right now. And so what we can do is we can look at the current fees and we can look at the ones that are bound to come up here in the future. So let's say we sold this book for $14. Let's say it met our minimum criteria. The cost to ship it to Amazon, well, we'll actually just leave that blank right now because there's lots of variability there. And we'll leave the cost of the product there as well. Let's take a look at what we got for fees. So current Amazon fulfillment, that would put us at $3.45 selling fees. That's $2.10 for the Amazon referral fee and $1.35 for the variable closing fee. And then down here, fulfillment by Amazon fees, there's the monthly storage fee. They're assuming 1 month. And then the fulfillment fee, so that's the fee that they charge to get it from their warehouse to the customer. So that leaves you with the seller proceeds, your Gross profit $8.13 on that book. So let's compare that to so the current. Let's take a look at what it's going to be effective March 1st, 2017. And it's interesting. It's actually going to be exactly the same. There's nothing changing. So that's good to know. But these are the fees that you want to take into consideration. So Amazon's going to charge you $5.87 in fees, which is a little more than a third. And that's pretty typical. So what you need to do when you're approaching your Amazon selling business is you need to take all these fees into consideration. So my conclusion is don't panic. Don't shut down your online selling ambitions because of these fees. There's always been fees. There always will be fees, and fees are going to increase. You can just take that to the bank because it always happens. And I don't think it's because Amazon hates us. I don't think it's Amazon because it's trying to profit off us out of the warehouses and the fulfillment centers. I honestly think it's because their costs are raising and they have to raise their costs to operate a viable business. And so therefore you need to raise your costs to operate a viable business yourself. And so you just got to be in the habit of always looking for ways to make your business run more efficiently, to get that sell-through rate up, to boost your cash flow, to find cheaper inventory, get your expenses down, etc. Again, like I said before, books average over 700% ROI. And so although it's a bummer that these fees are increasing and Amazon's eating into more and more of your profitability, there's still plenty of room. It's still an amazing product to sell on Amazon. It's really bar none. There's no competition for it because you can acquire books for cheap or even free, and you can sell them for some amazing profits on Amazon. It's absolutely incredible. Again, build a successful business that's always pivoting and being creative and innovating, because those are the kind of businesses that stand the test of time. There's so many flighty business owners on the Amazon marketplace right now that a fee like this is just they feel like it's gonna cripple them, and they throw in the white tile and they quit. And don't be one of those people. And again, anticipate the changes. There's more changes on the way. This video was made at the beginning of 2017, but I guarantee you there's going to be some more changes that are going to have major and minor impacts on your business in the years to come. So hopefully I answered some of your questions. Hopefully I dispelled some of the anxieties that you had over these new fees. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help. Thanks again for taking time to watch these videos, and we'll chat with you soon.